I just want to start off by saying that what I'm about to say doesn't bring me joy at all, and that is that Rain of Gold sucks as an album. This album feels unfinished, and I could tell that when they released Legion of the Damned. It just bored me. I was listening to it and I was like, what is this? What is this song? Where was the evolution from Raided Land and Thieves of the Night? Where did it all go? It was like a downgrade. And then Thunder came out and it followed a similar trend, even though Thunder did sound a little bit better. I'll give it credit for that. So, that gave me a little bit more hope for the album. And then it dropped. And it's taken me 5 days to listen to an 11-track album because I ended up hating this album so much. Because, you know what? Human Fortress, they're a pretty decent power metal band. I wouldn't say they're my favorites, but you know what? I'll give them a listen. They're good. When I'm done listening to the bigger bands, I'll come and listen to some of the smaller bands like these guys. And you know what? Thieves of the Night as an album was pretty decent. Raided Land as an album was, also good, and they built off of Raided Land with Thieves of the Night. So, I was kind of hoping for them to expand off of that, and I was kind of excited to hear what they were going to do next. And now I'm not, because their next step, not counting their first album re release, kind of sucks. I do not like Rain of Gold whatsoever. Listening to the songs, they either sound like demos, like in the last few songs, or they have symphonic elements that are good and could be built upon, but are hardly used, like in Bullet of Betrayal. And that all just accumulates into this frustrating album. And it just sucks to see talent being thrown away for this album that feels like they just kind of threw it out there, like they were just out of ideas. And I would have much preferred them to do a small EP that was solid than a full length album like Rain of Gold that just ended up falling flat on its face. And again, it's taken me about 5 days to listen to this album because I get through maybe one or two songs. I think yesterday I managed to go through three. That's a big accomplishment. And I just stop. I can't listen to this album because it pains me to listen to it. And it's just frustrating. I've never had an album be this painful to listen to, apart from that Dawn of Destiny one I reviewed a while back. I wasn't, that attached to Dawn of Destiny. I listened to them once a few years ago, and then, listened to their new album when it released this year. And with this, it just hits me where it hurts because when I started getting into power metal, I found Human Fortress and thought they were pretty good. And to see that talent wasted, it's just a heartbreak. And to stop myself from going in circles, I'm going to give this album a 3 flat. I can see what they were trying to do with this album. It just needed maybe 4 or 5 months of time to do some audio cleanup to really make the album sound good. I mean, I'm not an audio expert, I don't know anything about that, but I could tell that this album was in its mid phase and needed a long time to get done. It needed a few months. And I'm just sitting here hoping that whatever they release next kind of builds upon what they did with Thieves of the Night. And I just hope that it's as polished as that album. Because if they're gonna continue down this direction, then I don't see them growing anytime soon.